What's happening, everybody? How we doing? Happy Saturday to you. Man, what a kickoff to the year, huh? Seen a lot of craziness going on cross country, from DC, and and all the way back to Washington here in Olympia, where people broke into the governor's mansion's grounds and were demanding Inslee come out and address the crowd about reopening the state, which brings me to where I'm at right now, is heading back to my hometown, Yelm, and they're doing one of the things that's been happening cross country is a reopen rally. I didn't put in the title in the lockdown because it's, for whatever reason, you already know how that goes with censorship and banning and whatnot online. But this is one of those things that's been going on in tons of cities across the nation, especially smaller communities like Yelm, where I spent some of my formative years. And it's just wild to me to see that the attention placed on a lot of these things has shifted from it went from Stop the Steal, and now it's kind of morphed from that was kind of a big rally point to now it's in the lockdown. And so there's people that are out, and what they're doing is basically hosting these reopen rallies to reopen the city. All right, well, hopefully it gets better as we get closer to Yelm. Oh, we got, nope. Oh, we're close. We're creeping. 6, 4, 7, 8, 5, 4, 2, and 3. All right. It's going to be choppy. Yep, and it's going to drop the second I talk. Jeez. Oh, all right. I think we're back up. Can you guys hear me okay? See me okay? Am I not just sitting there frozen anymore? Hopefully I'm not stuck in zombie or robot mode, I mean. I forgot to grab the flyer, which has the location here on the flyer for where I'm heading. But it's Yelm Park, so thank you, Marianne, Ray, Lynette. I'll be back soon. Thanks everyone for jumping in here. Like I was saying, these nationwide reopen rallies have been happening for a little while now. Now they're becoming much more the focus now that it's shifted from the election to now that's keep forward progress. I think that's where people are at now. Like, all right, well, this is where it's at. The election, I think, has kind of lost a lot of its steam, and now the focus is on what's next. What do we need to do to help ourselves and help each other? And I think right now, one of the big rally points people are doing is trying to support local businesses, small businesses. A lot of the places that have been affected by the state mandates for COVID-19, which are going to be, gyms, small, medium-sized small restaurants, bars, places like Walt's Place right here that's been around for years. It's all boarded up right now and not a soul there. Normally on a Saturday afternoon they'd have tons of people there watching football and sitting by the fire, tossing horseshoes, whatever. None of that's happening right now. You've got places like Stewart's Meats right here, which has got the world's most amazing meat cuts, and I don't see a soul there. It says closed on the door. Crazy, because Stewart's Meats has been around. I went to school with the Stewarts, actually. One of the people that I also went to school with is a state representative from the Republican Party 2nd Legislative District, J.T. Wilcox's family. The Wilcoxes, they have Wilcox Farms out here. So I'm hoping that I can touch base and actually talk to somebody in the state government that can give a better understanding as to what's going on. Maybe get some traction on some conversation pieces that'll help us formulate an understanding of where things are actually going to go. Because I think we see things on mainstream media about where they're at, with, the COVID-19 and the effects and what's going on, but really rubber meets the road in places like Yelm, Washington, right here, which are small towns that have grown. I mean, they've grown a ton. Things have happened, and we've seen this everywhere in the country. There's a Walmart. I'm driving by a Walmart, which blows my mind, because growing up here, I remember when the first stoplight got to town. I remember when McDonald's was put up. Like, they let us out of school so that we could go and watch them put up the McDonald's arch. It was like an event, there was Hutnick's was the place. If you guys, anyone from Yelm remembers Hutnick's, and you can share a link if anyone wants to go ahead and Google up Hutnick's, Hutnicks, if I remember right, Hutnick's restaurant. It was like a little diner, and every once in a while we'd skip school, and not that my mom knew about that, and we would go and we'd try to buy a basket of fries or whatever from Hutnick's if they would sell it to us. So like, you got to go to school, you can't be here. But the growth of any city is going to come with big businesses, which I think right now are a lot of the focus of the anger for these reopen rallies. So you've got places like Walmart, parking lot is packed, right? Just drove by it, packed. That was already an issue in a small town like Yelm that has small businesses that are supported by the community that are basically being pushed aside by the dirt price, the dirt rock bottom pricing that these big stores like Walmart can offer. So they're stuck basically, under the boot of, that balance between growth and business loss. And so we've already been seeing places like this that, due to its proximity to JBLM, which is Joint Base Lewis McChord, it's the Army base, which is in conjunction with McChord Air Force Base. So here, it's Tacoma, Washington. It's massive. It's the largest deploying Army base in the nation. So there's a ton of military presence here. A lot of people come in here, and it's equal distance between like Tacoma and Olympia, basically. It's right kind of nestled in the middle ground in Nisqually Valley. That being said, there's a ton of people that are moving out here. So it's going to, the community is going to grow. The city is going to swell. It's going to develop. There's apartment complexes now, which we never would have seen before. There's more chain stores that are opening up instead of like the smaller boutique situations. We used to have like Jayhawks out here, was like the spot. I remember friends growing up would get the bird suit, you know what I mean? They'd get a job as the Jayhawks bird out there on the corner doing the chicken dance. And you guys know who you were. If you're watching this and you know who that is, which is hilarious. But you got places like Stiber's Farms right here, big chicken farm. But now we've got big stores. There used to be like Dell's, you know what I mean? Which was like the farm supply store. And I don't see it now. I see a Tractor Supply Co., which is now the big farm supply store. And massive complexes come in. So small businesses are already suffering because of these big businesses that have come in. Now we've got COVID that's basically putting a boot on the throat of so many things right now, amongst which small businesses. I stay pretty, and people can say what they want. I do my best to stay unbiased. This is something that I feel strongly about. I really feel that we as people need to be empowered with the opportunity to make some decisions for ourselves. I think in these situations, if you feel unsafe going to a business, don't go, but don't stop the business from operating to allow people that right. That's just, that seems to make the best sense for common action and for the preservation of our liberties. So in situations like this, it's it's tough because you do see larger businesses that are doing just fine. Big tech is doing just fine. Places like Yelm are really, it's a pretty diverse situation here now because you've got Safeways, and you got an Ace Safeway over here, and you've got Starbucks lying around the corner, like lying around the block, doing great. KFC lying around the block, killing it. And then you see a lot of these smaller places. Excuse me, I got some oatmeal in my throat. Where the doors are shut and people just aren't making it. And I remember a lot of the places that we're coming to the installation, the establishments for Yelm that I remember, like the dance studio was one of the big spots where all the jazz line would go, and that's where they would dance. And we had the best jazz line, state competition winners. They would perform at the Sonics games. Awesome. Coolest little group of dancers ever. Now there's a grocery outlet right here, Rite Aid. You know, they've got the Burger King's still here. I remember Burger King coming in after McDonald's, and that was like, they had the 99-cent Whopper, and the world changed for all of us. But the dance studio was right over there by Doug's restaurant. If you guys remember Doug's, anyone from out here? Still there. But there's been a huge downtick in small businesses. And my number might be a little off, but I think in the last 3 years, the small to medium-sized business sector is like 35% of the small businesses that have opened in the last 3 years have gone out of business, and that's tragic. Because you can imagine, people sink their livelihood, they sink their savings, they close out their 401ks, and they invest in a dream, and they invest in something that they feel will provide them that chance to be a part of like this, the beauty of America, which is to build something for yourself and to make something of yourself with your own, your own mustard. And it's hard to see. I mean, it's terrible to see that these things are, radically impacting people's ability to, feed their families. And so you got places that are still here, like, the Yelm Food Co-op. I remember Gordon's Patio Shop here. Now I'm trying to find where this rally's going to be. There's a rally planned here today, and if somebody's willing to like jump in, I left the flyer back on my board at home. I know it's at the park here in Yelm. Things have changed so much. There used to be a skate park here that we had to fundraise, and it was actually kind of an extortion situation, I'm not gonna lie. So we were skateboarding, back in the day when we were young. Oh, found it, I think. We were younger men and women, and we wanted to skateboard, and so we were skating at all these local businesses, and so we went hard. We were skating, and then they were super pissed, like, oh, we don't want you here, get out of here, stop being here. And so we were like, hey, let's build a skate park. And so we went to all of the local businesses, and we were like, hey, it would be really cool if you would help us build a skate park by donating to this fund. And so businesses were like, anything to get you away from our business would be good business for our business. So all right, I think I found it here. So I'm not sure if I want to park here in this alley, because I don't know what the tow process is here anymore. They're gonna yank cars. But so Yelm, man, long-standing history. Love it here, beautiful place. But yeah, COVID-19 has, the effects that it's had, the things that it's radically impacted are, it's terrible to see. Not just, there are people that have legitimately, like, obviously lost their lives to COVID, and now there's people that are losing their livelihoods, and there's got to be a balance. We got to find some way to like stop stop this thing from doing so much damage. And but I think that at some point we have to appreciate that there's a good possibility that at this point maybe it's time for us to go ahead and be analytical about it and look at the process and see how we can make some, as citizens, make some changes ourselves. And sorry, I'm kind of spitballing while I'm Tenino. Yeah, we used to go out there to the quarry. That was the spot. Swimming in the quarry. All right, I found it, guys. So I'm going to cut the feed for a few minutes here, just while I go ahead and get my jacket on, and then I'm going to go ahead and turn it back on when I get across the street here to the rally. And then we'll probably just do a tour of Yelm, give you guys a look around the place, and hopefully talk to some small businesses that are maybe still open though. So sit tight, come back. If you guys would just, bear with me for 5 minutes, I'll be right back, right? Love y'all. See you in a minute. Boom and boom.